Going.
Perfect.
All right, I think we're recording.
Perfect. All right, so hey everyone, welcome. If you wouldn't mind, please go ahead and mute yourselves so that way there's not extra background noise or anything like that. Feel free to later though, if you want to jump in and say something, you can go ahead and unmute at that time. But just during the actual webinar portion of it, kind of as we're talking and everything, so that there's not a lot of background feedback. So if you wouldn't mind just going ahead and muting yourselves, that would be fantastic.
Hi everybody. Woohoo. If y'all don't mind, type into the chat, just say hello so we can I can see all the names of everyone who's on and kind of respond. So feel free to just let us know you're here. There you go. That's Casey. And if I botch a name, tell me. Say, no, you pronounce it like this. I can do that. So hi, Casey. And I say Karen. I saw Brinity. I hope I said that right. Brinity. I can. Yes, that's good. All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said it right.
You did it. I'm Woody Armstrong. I'm the director for the New Military Spouse Support Program for MSIN. And I am so excited about this webinar. We have the most amazing host who's going to share some of her tips and tricks and everything with you about decorating and PCSing and just really organizing and all of that as we gear up for PCS season. And so without further ado, I want to introduce you to Maria from Moving with the Military, and she could share with you a little bit about kind of what that is, what that means, what she does. And feel free to ask questions, jump in, have a conversation. We want this to be really interactive and fun.
Yes.
And at the very end of this evening, we will have some really awesome, we actually have 4 giveaways, major giveaways. So stick on with us, hang out through the whole time. We promise we won't stay up too much past bedtime, and you're just gonna love it. So Maria, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it very much. Like you said, what do I do? Wow, it's craziness. First and foremost, I'm a mom. That is my absolute favorite job. I love my kids. I still think they're little, and then they'll tell me I'm not so little anymore because I have one in high school and one in middle school, so they're not that little. But that's my absolute favorite job. I'm also still a high school computer science teacher for this is my last year teaching. And why is this my last year teaching? Because we created, my husband and I, who is in the Army, created a series called Moving with the Military. So what is Moving with the Military? We have the most awesome time because we get to celebrate military families by surprising them with home makeovers. That is my absolute favorite thing to do. So we get to travel, we get to meet military families from all different branches, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. We get to talk with people and really find out, just what makes them tick, who they are. That I get to do my favorite thing, like shop. Shop and design. And then we get a big reveal. We get to give this to the family, and that is just absolutely the most amazing thing. When people say it is better to give than to receive, that is true. I get so much satisfaction from being able to give to military families, and you never know where someone is, you know what I mean? And we've heard from the families that we have celebrated so far that the stuff is really nice, thanks for that. It's great. It's beautiful, but that's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing is what you've just done for our family, what you've just done for me as a military spouse. That is the true gift. So we're super thankful to be able to do that.
Absolutely. I think it's so important what you guys are doing. And so it's one of those things we often forget about when you're moving so often, and you just kind of get used to that, right? Oh, another house, but we'll be here only a few years and we're leaving. And so I think it's so special that you take that time to remind them to make this their home. That really strikes true with me is, we forget to do that, and it's just a place and it's not a home, and it's hard to force that feeling sometimes. So.
I was talking with my civilian friends because we military spouses have this term, the forever home. Is everyone familiar with that? The forever home? And I've said that to my friends. They're like, what do you mean? my civilian friends. I don't understand. And it's like, because we move so much and we know this is not going to be our forever home, we're always waiting for that. We're waiting for that moment to happen. And I wanted to stop that because it's my forever home right now. Mm-hmm. And my children are in it. My husband is in it. I am in it. This is where we live. So I want it to be like my forever home. And you and I were talking earlier, I had boxes in the garage that I hadn't unpacked in a year and a half. I just stayed there and I'm like, well, why unpack it? We're just going to move. And I didn't want to live that way. I said, no, I want to make it a home, make it for my kids, bring out the things that they love, the things that remind them of the different places that we've lived in, the different cities, the different people that we've met. That to me is home. It's the memories, not just the four walls that we're in. It's all of it. It's a combination. So,
definitely.
Hey, Andrea, I see you there too.
hey. Yeah, so every few seconds we have more people jumping on. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yes,
just a quick reminder, if you don't mind, just mute yourself so that there's not a ton of feedback in the background. So that way when the recording plays later on, it can be heard clearly. Maria, I did have a question for you about when did the light bulb go off for you that this was an awesome idea you wanted to start off with? When did that happen where you were like, you know what, I want to make this dream a reality?
In December, I can give you like almost the date. It was right before Christmas of 2016. Am I going in the right years? Yes, 2016. And I said, I have this idea. And because my background was a filmmaker, don't know if I said that. I spent 20 years as a producer and a director. I worked with companies like HBO and Showtime and lots of commercial work. And then when my husband decided to go back into the military, he was in the service, took a break in service, and then he came back in. I said, well, that makes both of us being gone 90% of the time. Who's going to watch the kids? How is this going to work? So I decided to take a step back because I wanted to be a mom. That was my thing. So I said, well, I'll do something else for the time being. Again, I became a teacher, which I love. We were talking earlier. If any of y'all were ever in the yearbook class when you were in high school, I am a total yearbook nerd. I teach yearbook and I absolutely love it. But now that our kids are older, I said, this is the time to put the things that I love, that I'm very passionate about, put them together, which is filmmaking and design. And how do I do that? Because I felt like I had an unusual skill set. Like, how many people live this life, military, and have a film background and have a design background? So how do I put this together? But the biggest thing that got me, I was sort of binge watching Netflix, and I was watching all these home improvement shows. And it was, every time they dealt with a military family, it was a tragedy. Mm-hmm. And I said, why? Why is it always, oh, the poor military family? How about, oh, that awesome military family. Look at the great things that they're doing. Not victimize. I mean, we all have trials. We all have tribulations. It happens. But you know what? Let's celebrate the victories. Let's look at the positive. I'm a glass half full instead of a glass half empty kind of girl. And I said, let's do this. So I said to my husband, literally, I turned to him and I said, I have an idea for a TV show. He was very cool and said, just don't mortgage the house, and second mortgage, and I think we'll be okay. And I said, all right, I'm going to do this. And I stayed up for almost 3 days straight, wrote a business plan, a strategic plan, made a website, put all our social media together. And I said, look, honey, I am going to do this. And then a few days later, he deployed.
Oh.
Isn't it always the best time to start a new venture, to get into something crazy right when they deploy? But that's just how we roll. So we did the first season. I did it pretty much by myself with other military spouses and volunteers. And then, he's like, I roll on in and I'm all cool. I'm like, no, stop. We've been doing all the work, friend. We've been doing all the work. But that was sort of our aha moment, was let's celebrate military families. That's the thing we need to do. We need to show the great things about being a military family, about, you get to travel, you get to see the world, you get to go to places that a lot of people may never go to, you get to meet real interesting people. I'm like, let's see the positive. I'm all about the positive. So that was my aha moment.
Definitely. That's fantastic. And so as far as, funding goes, and I know sometimes you guys get to work with specific companies that help you out in different areas. How does that work then overall? When you're helping out a new military family, how does everything come together? I mean, it's a very expensive process, right, to do this?
Girl, for real. It's been a challenge because we're in this little weird pocket. Everybody loves the idea. Wow, celebrating military families. This is awesome. And then we often hear, well, you're really small. They want really large following. So shameless plug right now, if you haven't, go and follow us on like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, because those are the things that are going to get the networks and the sponsors to go, oh, wait a minute. People really do want to see this. It's not just a one time and this is going to be okay, but it's an impact that we're making to a community. That's what they want to see. So help us out, which would be awesome. Follow, like, and share all the time. And then how do we get sponsors now? A year later, since we've done our first episode and now we're into, I think, our 7th episode, now companies are starting to take notice. You know, they're starting to see, wait a minute, you know, your videos are seeing over 100,000 views. Wait, it's not just the military community, because outside of the military community, you have their families, you have military supporters. So it goes out into the civilian world. Anyone who's moving, you know, at any time can be part of the show, you know, can learn from the things that we do. So that part's really interesting, is to see how far the reach has been. So it depends on the different sponsors that we talk to, you know, how much they're able to contribute. A lot of the work that we've done, so up until now, a lot of it has been self-funded. That means my bank account. I have an awesome husband. Did I say that? I have an awesome husband. And we've just been doing it because we believe in the mission. And we know that we're making an investment into the people that are in the military community, that are, you know, we're part of them. It's not just, you know, this outside thing. It's us. We live it. We understand it. So making that investment into that, to me, it's a very well worth it. So it's a process, because production is very expensive. And if I can use a show that will remain nameless, but other military, or not military, but other home improvement shows, the cost of the entire, sorry, someone's got feedback, so I'm hearing that in my ear.
I heart Reliant K, if you would mind muting yourself. If you can hear us. I heart Reliant K, I'm sorry about that.
I got a little feedback in the ear.
All right.
So just to give you a little feedback about home improvement shows, the way they work is whoever's going to be on the show is paying the brunt. They're paying the cost of the makeover. Really? I'm celebrating military families. I don't think I'd ask them for money to do this. And then the show is funded by your network that you're on. Well, we are on our own network right now. So it's very costly to be able to do the improvements, all the furnishings and accessories, and then as well as the production. Luckily, I know a lot of it. I do a lot of it myself. I have wonderful military spouses. Chandy Ulch is an incredible military spouse who is also a cinematographer. I could not do this without her, and all the other volunteers that have come on board. Berenice actually came on board for the Christmas front porch decor makeover. So we get people to come in and volunteer, and by volunteering and doing this for another family, it is just incredibly uplifting and filling, and it is wonderful.
That's amazing. Well, hopefully, you know, you will be able to share some of those nuggets of greatness of everything. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the show, but it is incredible. I mean, and Maria, I'm just going to boast about you for a second. First of all, she's an amazing person and woman and mom and just business person and teacher. How I came to know Maria originally actually was when the hurricane happened. And this was, you know, a couple months ago. And I saw, because I was following Moving with the Military and following her, and I saw this video that she had about making the difference and military spouses unite, because it doesn't take much to say, let's help these people. Let's get something together and help these people. And so here I am at the time, way over in South Carolina. And that was just so inspiring to me, because you were physically there. You were taking stuff down. You were, I mean, really affected and seeing the people affected by this. And so it inspired me personally to get that going where I was. And so, and you had that all across the country with Military Spouses Unite. I mean, you guys were inundated with requests and goods, and
it was pretty amazing to see the military spouse community come together. The shipments that kept coming to our house. I'm like, okay, we've got to get this in the garage. We've got so much stuff. And then we were able to get a truck and take it down, and we left like at 4 a.m. and drove down there. And even though we didn't because we couldn't get deep into Houston, even on the outlying areas, the water levels, seeing the devastation, it was unbelievable. It really was unbelievable. And I'm a Florida girl. So I hate to say that, I'm used to hurricanes. They happen, we get it. I had never seen anything like that. It was absolutely unbelievable. And I was like, how can we help? Even with all that truck, I'm like, it's not enough. We need more. We need to do more. What else can we do? So thank you. I'd never got to say that to you.
I mean, I think it's so meaningful, and it rings through in everything that you do, even from the show to volunteering. I mean, military spouses in general are so quick to think on their feet. Military families, right? And those resilient military kids are so quick to think on their feet, help wherever they can, whenever they can. And I thought that was so awesome and special for you to kind of start that movement of Military Spouses Unite and have that flourish throughout for that one specific event, such as, it wasn't even one, the hurricanes, I should say. That happened. And so I just thought that was so cool. And I think, if there's someone to know, it's Maria, because you're always everywhere doing everything. So you're an inspiration as a military spouse. I just want to share that. I have a little girl crush on you. So yes, very loud.
Thank you.
But anyways, yeah. So that's
I appreciate you, friend.
You and then go throughout that and partner with you with MSAN. So we're so excited that you're here and lucky to have you. And I don't want to derail too much because I know you've got some awesome stuff to share. But
get my notes.
No, we'll just continue with whatever it is you want to talk about, whatever information you can share with us. And you guys, those of you on here, ask questions, pick her brain. Because she knows so much amazing stuff. And she was telling me earlier, though, she's like, but she learns every day also. So
I want to learn from you. I want to learn from all of you. So you may have an amazing nugget that you want to share. Please bring it on. I'd love to hear it. But I will dive in because we are in PCS season. We PCS not that long ago from Fort Benning to Fort Hood. So we came from Fort Benning to Fort Hood, and putting together that entire process was very and all of the processes when you PCS. But I really took this one and I kind of wanted to dissect it and break it apart into what do you do? What do you really do like 120 days out? Now oddly enough, my husband got orders like almost a year before we left. And I said, who does that happen to? People get orders. It's like 90 days, 60 days, bam, 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 go. No, we knew like way in advance. But I didn't want to do anything because I said to myself, okay, this is going to be one of those moments when we have the orders really, ahead of time. And then right when I've done all the research, I've got everything ready to go, they're going to delete the orders and we're going to go somewhere else. So I didn't want that to happen. So I waited a little bit, but not too long. But when we're PCSing, the first thing I do, it's like we get the orders and it's like, okay, it's time to go. The first thing that comes to my mind is decluttering and organization, because everybody's got a weight allowance, whatever your weight allowance is. So you start to think about, can I take this? And over time, however long you've been somewhere, you acquire things. Some things are really heavy. Some things are not so heavy. You acquire clothing. How did I end up with 60 ball dresses? How did this happen? I don't know, but I did. And I actually that was one of the items that was still in a box for a year and a half, was full of ball gowns. I donated all of them because I said, I'm never going to wear these again. I wore them. I'm good, but I still had all this. So decluttering, when you get the orders, to me is the first thing to do. Start to see what you've got, start to see the things you do. And I try and declutter throughout the year, specifically during school breaks. Spring break, Christmas break, summer break. We get all these breaks because then the kids can help me. Yes, put them to work. They're really good at that. And they have to try things on. Like, does this still fit you? It looks like it's entirely too big for you or too small for you. So we do all of the decluttering and organizing as much as we can throughout the year. Then we get the orders, and that's the first thing we do. We start to set up those bins. Donate, keep, trash. Some things just got to go. They're not even donatable. That would be my son's stuff. A lot of it has got to go. And so you start to see what you have. And if you are doing that often, you keep an organization happening continuously. But I really like to do that first. And we also did, it's on Facebook and it's also on our YouTube channel. I did a 30-day organization boot camp. And it talks about decluttering, organizing, folding, We did a modified military fold. We did these for our son's shirts because he got a new dresser, moved to a new house. He got a beautiful new dresser because he outgrew the one that he had since he was like 4. So we did a modified military fold for the clothing, and it just was streamlined. You could see everything, everything fit, it was neat, and now it's his job as a young teenage man to keep it that way. He's got to keep it organized. But organization and decluttering first. All right. Then I start to do the research process. All right. Where are we going? And one of the resources that I love to use is called PCS Grades. It is amazing. It is like, I don't know how else to explain it other than like the Angie's List for military families of all things that you need to know about a military installation, the installation itself, the schools in the area, the housing, on-post housing, off-post housing, things to do in there. It's just like such a great resource. And I'm also, I think I want to be a detective sometimes. So I also do my own research in addition to find out, you know, where do we want to go? What do we want to do when we get there? And I set up a PCS binder, a little old school, I know, paper, but that way that is with me all the time. I have 10 copies of PCS orders, 10 copies of birth certificates, because everybody wants paper, 10 copies of all these things. But that way too, I keep that binder with information that I need so that I can quickly reference, oh, we got to do this. We're gonna go to this place, or I have to make sure I call transportation, and you know, whatever it is that we're doing. And then we decide, are we going to do a ditty? We're going to do our own move, or are we going to let the military move us? So everybody may have opinions on all of these things. I like to do the ditty because I want to make the money, or whatever. I like the military to move us. That is me. I want to be able to just let that get handled because we've got so many things going on, and it makes it easier. And one of the things that I learned from another military spouse, her husband had actually retired. So big shout out to Debbie Navarez. Thank you for this information before I became a military spouse, which was set up a room. And in that room, there is nothing. You set up that room for your kids to hang out, to be the room that no one goes into, the movers don't go into, everything comes out. And it's like, you know, this little safe space. That is where everything that we want, that we need, that we don't want anyone to touch happens. We did that, and it was awesome. And she wasn't kidding when she said they will pack the toilet paper. Because they did. They packed everything, absolutely everything. So I'm going to stop really quick. I know I'm talking a lot, and I wanted to see some questions over here. Because I see Andrea, I have no idea how much junk we have until we PCS. Girl, for real. That is so true. You start to look at all of this stuff and it's piles, and it's like, why did I buy that? Why, you know, why did I do that? Sell it, donate it. Facebook has a great marketplace. There's several others. A lot of military installations have yard sale pages. Military installations sometimes do a big, like, full installation, full post yard sale. Sell it. Somebody else will want it. And then at the end of the day, if you still have stuff that you don't want, donate it. There's a lot of great places, Goodwill, Salvation Army, other organizations that will take the stuff, and it's so awesome. So I was reading what all our folks are saying. Yep, they stayed packed up. See right there. Yeah, it's true. But I try not to do that anymore. So wait, before I jump, I'm jumping. I want to get to my notes. All right. So we talked about decluttering and organizing before you move, right? We talked about whether you're going to do a ditty or a military move, the military move you, about researching the area that you want to go to, or that not you want to go to, but that you're voluntold to go to. Find out about the schools, find out about the location, find out about the fun things to do. That was really important to me because when we lived at Fort Stewart, which was sort of my first time kids, husband, life in the military, I was petrified. And I didn't want to go anywhere because I'm just like, oh, this is a military installation. I don't know what to do. And I stayed in for a lot. Didn't make a whole lot of friends. Wasn't very talkative. Yes, that's true. And I didn't want that to happen to me ever again or to anyone else. So I started to research what are the fun things to do around. And they don't always have to cost money. They're not always expensive. Go explore. Go see what's going on in the area. Go find out fun things to do, festivals. Did you know, we're here in Fort Hood, near Austin, there is a bat festival. I will share this fun story. Okay, the Bat Festival. If any of you have ever been to the Bat Festival, it's completely awesome. There is a bridge in Austin where bats live inside. And every night during a season, they all come out right at dusk. And then once a year there is, did I say that right? Dusk, yes. Once a year there is a festival where everyone is there to view the bats. So we went. I thought we'd see like, you know, a few, maybe 100,000 bats. No, 3 million bats. And so you start to hear it. It's not terrifying. It is awesome. It is so awesome. You start to hear it. It was like a hum. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? And everyone starts turning and looking at the bridge. And I'm like, what's going on? Then one bat would fly out. Another bat would fly out. Then you just started to hear all the wings. And it was a massive rush of 3 million bats. Doesn't last very long, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, but it was amazing. What a cool memory. That is so awesome. And we did that. No cost. It was just fun going, hanging out and doing that. So those are the things I like to do, because if we never got here to Fort Hood, chances are I would have never been to the Bat Fest. So I try to find, you know, cool things to do in all the areas that we go to. All right, I'm going to stop and take a drink. And it's water. So see, well, Christina said no, holy crap, it is not a horror movie. It was fun and no zombies, nothing. It was just really cool. It was a lot of fun. And it's a big festival. So there's food and fun things to do. And yes, a lot of people dressed up like vampires, you know, but I want to be the glittery vampire, Twilight. I want to be all diamond-y, but that didn't just roll out for me. All right. I know, I'm crazy. So then after that, digressing and going back to PCSing, looking for a job. That one is always a tough thing. So you know that move is coming. I was a high school teacher, and I always felt like, I just got to a school. I really like it here. This is awesome. Now I got to find another job. And even though sometimes we don't want to admit it, I think it's tough for military spouses to find a job. I have heard many times, not that I was underqualified, but that I was overqualified. And that is why I was unemployable, because I was overqualified for this position. I'm like, you know, we need a job. We need to do something. So it's a tough situation when we know that, 16% of military spouses, not 16%, it's 16%. So it's above the national average, are unemployed or underemployed. And that breaks my heart. You know, we've got to find a way to help our military spouses, to encourage them to do what they believe in. Everyone thought I was crazy for doing this show, but you know what? Here we are. And we always look to military spouses and veterans first. So whenever we have an opportunity to hire someone for our show, I keep that in mind, because I said, I know it's tough. It is tough, and I want to hire them first because they're a great group of people, incredibly skilled. You'd be surprised. I'm always like, what? You do what? You can make what? Yes, I want you on our show. We need to have you. So we always look for military spouses first. So finding a job can be a challenge, but don't give up. Go out there and do it. Go out there and find something that you like. Comb the area. There's always something that you might not have thought about. Mad Skills. I don't know if you know anything about Mad Skills. Mad Skills is a company that finds remote work for military spouses. And I think that's pretty cool to be able to work from home if you have a skill set as a computer science teacher. So can do some of that work as well. But you never know. Writing, if you're a writer, marketing, and you can do those things from home, some remote work is really cool. So once you've got all of your sort of self together saying, this is what's going to happen, I get into PCS head. And you know, we're going to move. These are the things we've got to do. The movers arrive. We've got our room set up. The things that the movers aren't going to move are also in that room. Everything's on lockdown so that we can take all of that with us. And then that process begins. I have always been of the mind, be very kind to your movers. Surprise them with some lunch. I think it's great. They'll always do a better job. and be extra nice. It's always worked out for us. So that's been really good. And then we head off. And to me, the move is not just a move. We turn that into a mini vacation. Enjoy the journey. You know what I mean? It's tough enough. So enjoy the journey wherever you're going. We take stops along the way. Again, it all depends on how soon you've got to get to that duty station, when you've got to be there. And then when you arrive and your household goods don't arrive, and then they want to arrive 30 days later, that's okay. And that's one of the things that I've learned to create is a capsule wardrobe. Who else is into a capsule wardrobe? Right here. 37 pieces. 37 pieces, including shoes. That's it, no more, for 3 months. Mix and match, make it work. That is so freeing because you don't shop, you don't do anything, and you make it work with what you've got. That has been a wonderful thing. So I'm putting together, we're going to be blogging about it, about a PCS capsule wardrobe that works for all of your moving needs when you're PCSing to your next duty station. But come up with pieces that will work for you and not against you. And that one is awesome. Trying to go to my next one. All right, so your household goods have arrived. Now what do? I've had friends say, I have to hang up curtains first. Does anyone else ever have to do that? Like, I have to get the window treatments up and things on the wall, and we know we've moved. For me, it's a piece of furniture that the kids have seen in every home. Something, and that will be that we'll bring with us, because if the movers haven't brought it, over, it's something that they can relate to that has been in every house. So it's this consistency. It's not curtains for me. I'm just going to say that right now. But we have this one entry piece, and I just put it in my truck, and that one's going to go to every house. So they're familiar with it, with the silver bowl where mom's keys go. So if you always need to find mom's keys, they're in that silver bowl. And that just gives the kids, like, that, to me, that stability. They go, okay, I know this piece. And then we let them, they're a little bit older, but we let them choose their own room. We know the master's ours, by the way, can't have that one, but then we let them choose. And it's great to watch them because they work together. I don't know if it's because we've been doing this for so long, but they will look at something and they'll say to the other one, now that would work better for you. It's closer to the bathroom and you're all girly and you got to get ready for school. He makes fun of it, but they work together to figure out what's going to be the best placement for their room. And then we set up the process. We enjoy the day. If our household goods aren't there yet, we start to venture out, figure out the fun things to do. And when the household goods arrive, we all work at it together as a team. They help with their rooms. I know with little kids, it's tough. When they were little, especially just moved to a new area, you don't know anybody. You haven't met your neighbors yet. You don't know what to do. We, again, set up that one room where nothing's going to go in yet so that they can have some time and let mommy work. And if anyone else is like me, I am a night owl. So I have done some unpacking once everyone's in bed. Makes it easier. No one else is there. I'm going to look back. So if you could help me to see any of these questions that we can answer. If you do a ditty, is that right? Am I reading that right? Karen, right? If you do a ditty though, you can't really spend time. Yeah, you can't. It's tough. So when you're doing the ditty move, because we've done that one as well, you've got your trailer and you don't want to just leave that trailer at the hotel. So you want to get to where you're going. You want to get to the destination. And, you have your truck, so you've got to unpack and you've got to get it all done quickly. Yeah, I do understand that. Absolutely. But once you've done that, then take the time and go out and explore and go see what's going on in your city, because you'll find some really cool stuff, maybe some bats. I'm just saying. So Andrea says, we have not moved with kids yet, and we have been at this station for almost 7 years. Girl, I was hoping to be somewhere for 7 years. Oh, we were just like, bam, 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 gotta go. Your kids are going to pattern after you. That is what I've learned. So if you are stressing and you're saying anything like, I hate this is awful, I can't believe we're going to move, they're going to feel that. So when it's time for you to PCS, get them a part of it and tell them, to me, it's like a field trip. This is going to be awesome. We're going to get to go visit a new place, bring out a map, go online with them so that they can learn all about that city. What's the capital? So we're going to a new state, right? This is the teacher in me, isn't it? right? We're going to go to a new state. We're going to find the capital. What are the things to do? Who's our governor? Who are our senators? What is all, not to get political, I'm just saying, giving them some information. What is the thing to eat in this state? Texas is barbecue. Everyone has the best barbecue, and every sign out of every restaurant is the best barbecue ever. So we have had quite a bit of barbecue, and it is usually pretty good. So just getting them involved and getting them excited about it, that to me is one of the best things you could do for your kids whenever you start getting ready for your PCS move. All right, but I guess it's something we should think about, what to set up first when we do finally move, get the orders. Yes, taking notes, take notes. Everyone's situation, I think, is a little bit different. We happen to have entirely too much furniture. We just do. Maybe it's because we're a home improvement show. I always have furniture. But what I've learned in doing this is when you give away, it is freeing. So a lot of times the furniture, because I like to repurpose furniture, I'm a thrifter, I'm all about it. I'll find a piece that needs love, that Charlie Brown entryway table that needs love, and I will fix it, I will chalk paint it and distress it and turn it into something beautiful. Maybe it's a really, really heavy piece that I don't want to take with us, and I will gift it to someone else, and hopefully they will do the same thing and pay it forward to the next person. You never know. But sometimes it is having to purge. Purge is my favorite word. Gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. One of the hardest things for me was the kids' artwork. The things your kids make at school. It's not always paper. It is clay. It is a lot of stuff. And one of the things that I did, handy dandy camera, is I took pictures of everything. I kept a few pieces, which I actually framed and create a gallery. I still have that gallery from when they were in kindergarten, and my daughter's in high school now. But I created a digital portfolio, and we made it into a coffee table book. And we see all those pieces all the time, and then I don't have to carry them with us because I had 3 totes of kid stuff. And then I did keep a couple of the clay pieces, but you got to let it go. It's not about the stuff. It's about the memories. That to me, hold it here. That's so, so important. All right, I'm trying to read. Amber, this will be our very first PCS. We just got married in January. Congratulations, love. Married, no kids yet. Just hubby and I. Enjoy that time. It is all good. Let me see what it says. And he's got orders in March. So we're freaking out. Don't freak out, girl. It's good. I've never been out of the U.S. and we're headed all the way to Japan. I'm jealous right now, all kinds of jelly. We've been wanting to go overseas. Nope, never been overseas. Like Tennessee, Georgia, and then Texas. I'm like, enjoy that. How amazing. Japan. Think of all of the things. Research, get online and find out what's around the installation, what you can do, what is coming to Japan. One of my friends is stationed in Korea, and she was there for the Olympics. How cool is that? Amazing to be there. Don't stress it. Don't fret it. It will be unbelievable. So I hope that, Amber, because I'm going to live vicariously through you, take pictures, share with me. Feel free to share. I'm moving with the military. I would love to see that and follow your journey because I think it's wonderful. Document it. This is the time I think, to take selfies. Take them. Take them of the food. This is great. This is a time to document all of those things. That is so wonderful. All right, I was going to Karen. Oh, I have done the picture thing too for the artwork. Yeah. Take a couple of pieces. I let them, and you know what? They're not always the prettiest. They're not always the ones that were painted perfectly and colored inside the lines, but it's the one that meant the most to them. The one that they ran to me saying, Mommy, look what I made. And I look at that and go, yes, I love it. But because they loved it so much, that's the one that got framed. And then now, so many years later, they'll look at it and go, oh, I remember that. I remember where we were. We were in Florida when I made that, at a school in Florida. So it all goes along with the memories. Hey, Linda, I see you there too. So husband, this one is I cannot say that, but I heart, I'm going to go that far. Husband is still, okay, less than 6 weeks till he graduates, and we still don't have orders. Any advice for moving last minute out of a storage unit? Yes, because I did that. Okay, so we packed up pretty much everything into a storage unit, and we're in a really small place just waiting on the orders to come. And then once they hit, the way that we packed the storage unit in, so if you still have time and can go to your storage unit and move things around, this would be really helpful. Try and pack your heavy stuff last in the storage unit. Don't put it first, because then it's going to be all the way in the back. So if it's in the front, it'll be the first thing you get into the truck. So you can get your truck packed better. My husband is a genius at packing the truck and can find a space that's that big and fill it. He'll figure it out. But pack your big things in last, so that way you take them out first. Did that make sense? And then you can start packing in the rest of your truck so that you have all of those things. I heard, did that make sense for you? I hope it did. All right. Andrea says, I have friends in Japan and they love it. Awesome. That is great. And take lots of pictures. Absolutely. Karen is, this will be your third PCS in 2 years, girl. You got this though. You're like a PCS powerhouse. I'm loving that. And you've always done a ditty. So we just move all of our stuff into our new house quickly, but this will be our first off base. Okay. This was our first off base too. So we were living on post. My husband deployed. We were building a home. The home was ready while he was still deployed. So I had to move us from post housing and get us into the house really quickly. We all have different sort of ideas. I used a pod and it was really good, but one pod wasn't enough. So we ended up with a pod and the truck. And the reason we did that is because we had to be out of housing before, you have to clear before we could actually move into our new house. And we had the closing was like the same day. So we were clearing in the afternoon, closing, and then the pod got delivered because you could just, let them know. And they delivered it within, it was like a few hours. It was delivered there and everything was ready to go. So yeah, but 3 PCSs in 2 years. Whoo! You're my hero. That is so awesome. And tons of pictures. Yes. Always. All right. I talk a lot. I am so going to stop. I'm going to let you talk.
I love this. This is fantastic. Well, I had a question for you because it's something I personally deal with, and that is not spending too much money, because I'm like, you know what? That table that we already have doesn't really fit that wall. So what if I just go buy a new table for that wall? How do you maneuver your way around those situations where making it what you have work, so you're not continuously adding more, and because then you have so much furniture, but I don't want to get rid of anything, right? Because you might need it next time or the next time or the next time. And so we have like bar stools that we don't have a bar, but bar stools up in the attic because next time we might have a bar. So it's like,
well, some of it is sell it. If it's in great condition, you can sell it, you can make some money. That is, holding on to all your stuff. I get that. But what I do when we get to a new home is I'm a layout freak. I have to sort of view the room. So I take pictures of the room once we're there before we've taken anything out of the truck. They may have gone somewhere to get some sodas. I'm like, great, leave me in the house alone. And I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to lay this out. I even use like blue painter's tape. And I am going to, this is where the couch is going to go. So I always have my tape measure. Always. And I measure before we move. I measure all my furniture pieces. I keep a list with the measurements. So I know that this couch is 98 inches long. And then I measure where I'm going, the new wall. I'm like, well, okay, it's not going to fit there because that's a 98-inch couch, but there's another place for it. So sometimes it's like laying the tape out on the floor, painter's tape, it's going to come back up. So I can just get a feeling for where everything is going to go, right? This is going to work here. This is going to work there. When we moved to our house in Fort Hood, it was smaller. So my dresser was in the dining room. Our bedroom dresser became a buffet instead of a bedroom dresser. We had nowhere else to put it, but I didn't want to get rid of it. It was for us, it was an investment piece and I did not want to get rid of it. So sometimes it's finding another purpose for it. how can I use this in a different way? I don't know what your stools look like, but if they're sort of those kind of industrial farmhouse look, farmhouse style that don't have a back, you could use that as a planter. You could use it as different things for books. You can kind of make it work in a different way. So finding another way to make things work is always a good idea too. And sometimes you don't realize the rooms that could put it in. I have this giant game room now. Like, what am I going to do with it? So I literally split it in half with shelving. Half of it's my office and half of it's the game room. So when they're in there in the game room, I am not in my office. But we made the two spaces work really well. It has an industrial feeling. So we made that work, and a lot of it with the pieces that we already have, and trying not to buy new stuff. If you set up, this was one thing, it just reminded me. When you bring everything in, set up shop. When I mean shop, literally set it up like a store. So all the lamps, not the lamp that I had in my living room, all of the lamps are going to go right over here in the lamp section of the store. All of the chairs are going to go over here in the chair section of the store, so that when I can look at it, I'm going shopping again. And I'm going, oh, I forgot I had that lamp. And even though that lamp worked in my daughter's room, this is going to be great over here. So I get to revitalize or see everything in a different way and find another place for it. So I try not to spend a lot of money either. And for us too, it's finding those thrift finds. I will find all of the thrift stores as soon as we move. Absolutely. Because I've got to go hunting. I've got to go see what's up.
Well, I love that. That is amazing advice. I mean, because like you said, you can use it for something else. It doesn't have to just be a bar stool sitting in the attic because we don't have a bar. I mean, it can be really a lot of things. Yeah. How do you see, because I know, I've had friends who've been overseas. We have not yet been overseas, but I have friends who have, a table from this country and a rug from this country. How do you get some of those things to mash together when you've got, a red couch and a blue rug and and you are wanting this idea of perhaps like the farmhouse style, but what you have doesn't match that. So how do you get around some of those things?
Work with what you have. If you don't want to spend and you don't want to sell it all and you don't want to spend a lot of money, then that farmhouse style look is not going to happen. So love what it is. If it's this sort of mid-century modern and a lot of color, go for it. It's beautiful. Love what you have and who you are, and don't try and emulate or become someone else. Does that make sense? I love trying different things. Sometimes they don't always work for me either. I think in my head, that's going to be amazing. And then I put it there and I was like, what was I thinking? But you have an entire house. It can go into a different room, into a different space, and it doesn't have to be your living room. You know what I mean? But I tend to buy, to begin with, neutral. That way, everything is going to work together. And when I want to change things or change it up for a holiday or a season, then I can add my pop of color then. So I stay in my big pieces in the neutrals, the grays, the browns, the whites, the blacks, but it's going to be very neutral. So then I can add those pops of color. And I think of that ahead of time. And I know that might be hard, especially when you're starting out. But if you're starting out and you found that thrift store piece, think about how you're going to paint it and or chalk paint it, or refinish it, restain it, and how that's going to work for the future. So think about your big pieces, your statement pieces to be more neutral. I would love a red couch. Girl, that would be amazing. But I know that that's not going to work for the long term of what we need. So I'll stay away from that, but I'll bring in red pillows. I'll bring in red curtains for something for a season, and then I will take them down.
Awesome. I love that. So buy neutral, and I'm taking notes too. For those of you who are watching, I'm hoping to kind of pop these up later. So if you're not able to take notes, maybe you're in the car driving and listening or something, I am kind of taking some notes for you also, just some of her amazing recommendations and just different tips. And
all right. Christina said, I am not a measuring type. I wasn't either. I was just like eyeball it and go, but I just learned over time, if you measure, and especially think about how many times you're going to change your couch. You're not really going to change it that often. So you may have a couch, 8 years, 10 years, measure it once, because you're thinking about it when you go to the store, even measure it, and then just store it. You've got that information. You know, you can set up something on your phone. We all live with our phones. Set up in notes where you just have that information and you make it a habit. Now you're making me think of the other thing that I didn't say. I photograph everything. Everything. Serial numbers, especially your high-end items, TVs, computers, anything that has a serial number, take a photo, especially if you're having a military move, take a photo of the object, take a photo of the serial number on the back, and then you have it. If you keep it on your phone and then you lose your phone, I've heard that all the time, but I lose my phone. Cloud storage. If you don't have an email, which I hope everybody has an email, but if you get a Gmail, they give you free cloud storage. So for something that's just like a list and photos, that's not going to take up too much space. So if anything happened to your phone, you would have it in your cloud storage and you can always access that. I would not take photos of sensitive documents, nothing with social security numbers, nothing with addresses, things of that nature. It's just a security thing for me. I wouldn't take pictures of things like that, but definitely just like serial numbers. And then we also photograph just everything, like the room intact, and then each piece. And we keep all those photos. So when everything's coming in, I'm just like, yep, all looks good. And then it just makes it a lot easier. I'm hoping I'm answering questions. Unless depending on where you move overseas, some things won't fit in their house. Houses, so I've heard. Correct. Yes, Andrea. My friends who lived overseas, they said they had much smaller houses. So one friend actually sold everything. They went overseas with zero, nothing. And they purchased there. And by doing that over there, because the home was smaller, they had to buy items that were different, that were smaller, or they, instead of having a couch and a love seat and 2 chairs, they pared down. It was very minimalist. That's life-changing. It is awesome. I recommend being minimalist because you get rid of that clutter and you make room for you. You make room for your life, for your family, and it's not always about stuff. So that's an option, to sell things, but to really think about, it's smaller. That would be that purging phase before you go overseas, is to purge the things that you have, and donate, so that you can then make room for a smaller space and make room for yourself. All right, I'm reading. Unless depending on where you move, now will the military store what we can't take with you overseas? From what I understand, storage is only for a short time. It is not like, it wouldn't be like 3 or 4 years or 2 years of time. That would be something that you would have to do personally. When they store it, like between, say you've got your household goods and they moved you, and then you haven't left yet and you're getting somewhere, all of that doesn't stay on a truck. It's in a container and it goes into a storage, could be 30 days, could be 15 days, could be however long it is, but it's a short term. It's not a long term. So it's not going to be, at least if anyone knows any different, please let me know. But I understand it only to be short term, even for overseas.
I have a quick question for you, Maria. How do you get through the box? I mean, do you have a rule of like, no cardboard left in this house after 30 days? Like, how does that work? Because I know a lot of us get stuck in that 6 months later, a year and a half later. Oh, wait, we'll just put another sticker on this box because it was from the last move, and let's just put another one. And you have 6 stickers on the same box, and it's just come with you. How do you navigate that?
Well, once all of our household goods arrive, I am a firm believer, and I'm gonna call it the crush down. So when the box is, I try and do the kitchen first, because we got to get in the kitchen. People got to eat. That's how it works. But I don't leave the boxes, and it's really easy. Like, I'll just leave that box and put all that stuff in it. I crush the box down and I fold all the paper. I know that sounds crazy, but doing that is less stress, because then I'm not looking at it. Oh my gosh, look at this wall of gigantic boxes that I have to crush. I just do it at that time. My son also helps. He's my box crusher. I'm like, here you go, buddy. Tear this one apart. But if you crush them down, you fold all the paper, it is actually a lot easier to throw away and also give away, because there may be another family in your area that could use it. So you could put that on, I know you're just new, but you could put it out into, I like Facebook groups. in the area, and just say, we just got here, got a boatload of boxes. If you want to come by, if you want to just put them out there, here they are, they're out there. But just you can even ask your neighbor. You never know. Your neighbor, you might have just moved in, your neighbor's moving out and they need boxes. And then if not, then, they can go in the trash. But we do keep a few, especially those wardrobe boxes, crushed down, but I keep a few in the garage just in case. We keep a couple of extra boxes. But I try and get through kitchen first, and then next, kids' rooms. I need to get them squared away. They've got to get going. They've got to, know what they've got, and it just eases them. It helps them out. They help in the process. We crush down the boxes, and then we can move on. I don't stress myself to get it done in a day or 2 days. Some people do. It's like, oh, I need to give yourself a break. Give yourself a breather. Don't let it be a month. But you'll get through it. You'll get through all the parts. But if you do your kitchen and you can do your kids' rooms, and again, it depends on what you do. If you have a business, you might need to unpack your office and get that ready. Slowly get it done. But I usually unpack everything in about a week.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I don't want to admit to you, we've been here a couple months now, and we have like the one room. It's going to be a nursery in a few months, but for now it's not. So it's the storage box room. We haven't touched it yet. But yeah, you run into those things where it just kind of sits there and you're like we said earlier, well, I guess I don't really need that because it's been there for a while and I haven't missed it. So
right. And if it's been there for a while and you haven't missed it, that might be a good time to go through it and donate trash. You might even be surprised what you find in the box because you go, I didn't know I had that in that box. What? That's a good one. Exactly. All right, I'm hearing this from Andrea. When you move, do you have the movers put all the boxes in each room they need to go, or do you? No, I don't, because I open up all of the boxes. That's not true. Let me preface. It's crazy. Some rooms. So kitchen will all go in the kitchen. Living room will all go in the living room. Dining room will go into the dining room. Kids' clothing will go into their rooms. Kids' big furniture will go into their rooms. Accessories may not. And I try when they're boxing up the boxes and we're writing down all the numbers of all of our boxes, I'm trying to put in what's in there. So I know that this is lamps, these are accessories, so that when I get them back and I put them out in the living room and have my shopping spree and have everything set up like a store, it makes it easier to know what I have. But I do get the big pieces of furniture into those rooms. I don't want to be hauling beds and dressers and things like that. And the clothes boxes, those can go up. It's the smaller accessories. And even with toys, because we had lots of toys. And I think sometimes with military kids, we tend to overgive, if that's a thing, because we feel like, the kids, it's so hard on military kids. Let me give extra, let me give more. And then there's so much that they don't play with. So when we do a lot of our purging, even in our packing, I'm going to store this for a while. And then when I bring it back out, it's like it's a new toy. Wow, Mom, this is awesome. So, it's taking a look at all of the things that you have in those accessories, decor, toys, and then being able to spread it all out. But the key for me is organizing and purging before you PCS. Do it before, and then you actually almost do it again when you're there because you've just opened everything up. But if you do it before, it makes it a whole lot easier.
Well, and I see Making Mandy, she has an awesome idea. She said, we always do Diddy moves. I pack everything in Tupperware bins. They're color coordinated for rooms. We also keep old sheets and towels to use when moving. That's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great idea. I'm going to have to take that, Making Mandy, because I like that idea.
And do you prefer Tupperware bins over boxes, or what do you personally prefer? What have you dealt with in the past?
We have the clear Tupperware boxes. I've never done the color coordinated lids, so I'm stealing that idea because I love it. But then you can see kind of what's in it. And I do those for seasonal. Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's, 4th of July, so that I can see what's in the box. But the color coordinated lid just makes so much sense. So everything that has a red lid, hey, that's Christmas. Easy. We can see that really fast. So that's a great idea. But I do like those for seasonal items. Awesome. Trying to read some more. According to Military One Source, there is a special form military or families can fill out for non-temporary storage. Thank you, Casey. I did not know that. For overseas. That is fantastic. That is good to know. So if I'm going to get that link too, so that we can share that. I didn't know that. That is awesome. And Karen, I haven't unpacked many boxes in this house because we are only here for 6 months. And I can understand that. So you unpack your necessities, the things that are really important because you're going to leave. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because you know that you're going to get it to the next house. But you know, when you get to somewhere and you're there a little bit longer, unpack some more, you know, till you get it out. But always try and make your house, even your temporary house, make it a home, make it feel like home, whatever those items may be for you. It may be that piece that you picked up in Paris, or I would love to say that one day, or, you know, you were in Okinawa and it was that thing that you had there. That's beautiful. And speaking of overseas items, this was something that I learned recently. I haven't had the opportunity to do it, but it was shared to me by another military spouse, is instead of always keeping everything, they will ship it after they've had it in their home for X amount of time. They will ship it to a family member or a friend and let that family member or friend enjoy that piece. And then when you go and visit that family member or friend, you get to talk about it again and you get to enjoy it. And it has like this whole other life being with someone else. I thought that was such a great idea because it's still someone who's close to you. So I thought that was pretty cool to share. So I'll have to send someone a bat from Texas. Just kidding. And she says she also saves all my boxes broken down up above the garage so I don't have to get any new boxes every time. Yeah, especially if you're doing ditties, that's awesome. But it's definitely the break them down, break them down, break them down, break them down. It's going to make it a lot easier and easier to store.
Awesome.
And that was helpful.
Quick question about, you know, sometimes we can't paint, right? Depending on where you are, or if you paint, you have to paint it back. So what are some of the things that you guys use for decorating walls and hanging things that are not going to destroy it? Because when you're moving out, you have to do that checklist and you're panicked about the holes in the wall now.
Right. So you had mentioned earlier with farmhouse, white is your friend. White walls, awesome. It's great. You don't have to paint anything. Many installations have approved colors. They've moved to specific colors that you're allowed to paint. So and then you don't have to paint them back. Take a look at that. I'm also a big fan of wall pops. I don't know if you know what that is, or there's many of them. That's just a specific brand, but it's removable wallpaper. It is so easy to put up and really easy to take down. In fact, if you keep the roll that it comes on, you can just roll it right back up and use it in another house. I would not recommend doing all your walls with wall pop or any removable wallpaper. It could get pricey, but accent walls are great. You can do it with that. I should invest in command strips because I use them for everything. We even had a friend here at Fort Hood. She put up a faux shiplap wall. I'm not lying. Faux shiplap wall. And she was using really small nails. They made it just out of a lightweight, almost like a thinner plywood. Painted it all, real tiny nails. You couldn't even see the nail holes when she took it all out. And I walked in, I was like, girl, you are channeling your inner Joanna Gaines right now, because it was absolutely gorgeous. But coming up with ideas like that and using command strips, removable items that will help leave the walls intact. That was our biggest thing when our daughter wanted her room painted pink. Mommy wouldn't have that. I was like, what? That's a lot. So we look for approved colors, look for removable wallpaper, and decorate with items that can be put up with a sort of removable strip. Doesn't have to be a command strip. We even did a Lego wall for one of our rooms. We are doing right now, yes, this is month of the military child, and we are doing surprise room makeovers for kids. This has been so much fun. The kids, I mean, we've done our first, and the kids are like incredibly surprised, but we did a Lego wall, which was so cool. And we did it on a cork board. So we didn't want to put the Lego, they're like plates, almost like, what are those called? Peel and stick tile. So it's like a peel and stick piece of Lego, but we put it on a cork board, and that cork board is hangable. So you're not ruining the wall by putting anything on there. And then when you leave, you just take your removable Lego wall with you to the next house. And it's a lot of fun to see them work with that. So hope that answered that question.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Monkey hooks. Oh, making Mandy. Monkey hooks. Tell me what's a monkey hook. only leaves a small nail hole and it will hold tons of weight. Okay, girl, you have got me now. I need that. Casey says removable wallpaper also. Yes, I need to know what a monkey hook is. I am intrigued right now. We mounted our TV with only monkey hooks. Okay, Megan Mandy, you need to send me a picture of that. I need to see how you did that. And that's one thing that we've heard from so many military installations. You can't mount a TV on the wall because that one's going to leave big holes. So I want to see how that's done. That is pretty awesome. Megan Mandy's my new friend. See, I always learn something new. Awesome. Are we ready to start giving some stuff
I think
away?
so, yeah. I think we've held them on for a little bit. We have 4 really awesome giveaways. So 2 are sponsored by Armed Forces Insurance, our official insurance sponsor for Military Spouse Advocacy Network. And 2 amazing things are sponsored by Moving with the Military. And so we can start with whichever one you want. Which one do you want to start with?
Well, let's go back and forth, one of each. All right, so is it okay if I start?
Of course.
All right, so one of the things that that we make is a ring. I'm wearing one, so I'm gonna take it off so you guys can see it. This is an oak leaf. You can see that? This is a silver one. We make them in brass, in silver, and in copper. And the reason that we did this, we learned that across all military branches, the oak leaf is a symbol that is used in all of the military. And I wanted to, it's also the symbol of the United States. It's our United States tree. And what the symbol of the oak tree is, it is rooted and grounded and strong and steadfast. And that is how I see military spouses. We are strong. We do so much. I am so thankful for the military spouse community. Awesome, great people. So we created this ring as our sisterhood ring. This is a sisterhood. We'll make one for the dudes, but this one is our sisterhood ring. So we want to give away one, whatever color, whatever metal they would like. So how do you give away? What do we do?
Awesome. All right. So I have put everyone who is here. I can see everyone, the list of everyone who's in here.
Okay.
Whatever name you entered. So I put you into a little kind of drawing site where it does it randomly. And so I will press go and I'll drum roll, please.
I'm nervous.
All right, so the winner of the ring is Casey Brenninger.
Awesome, Casey. We will send that over to you. So I guess not here, but she could send.
She can. I will get in touch with Casey.
Okay, so don't put your address here. She'll get in touch with you, and then we will ship that off to you. Thank you, Casey. Awesome. Congrats.
All right, so one of the things that we have from Armed Forces Insurance is a $25 gift card, and we are leaving it open to you on what it is you're going to be needing. So whether you choose that to be at Home Depot or Lowe's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby, because you might be in the middle of PCS season or about to be, or you might be having a craft that you want to kind of fix up or something fun to decorate your home. And so you get to kind of choose what you want that to be, and we can be in contact afterwards on what your choice is. But a $25 gift card is going to go to Amber Allen.
Awesome. Congratulations, Amber. Okay.
So, and then obviously before we go tonight, I'll tell you exactly how we can get in touch. And that'll just be through our email or Facebook page on MSAN, and we can chat with you guys about getting everything to you. All right, back to you, Maria. Tell us about the second one.
Awesome. So we do a lot of DIYs. We do them for the show. My husband and I, since he's always deployed, that's what it feels like. And then when he comes home, we do something called a date night DIY. We invite America into our house to just hang, have a date with us. We make something. We give you the cut list, all the materials you would need, a tutorial on how to make it. And then at the end of the show, we give it away. So I learned from another military spouse, Jessica Charleston, amazing, incredibly gifted woman, to make a pedestal. And it's really beautiful. So it is a 12 by 12 block of wood with finials. I learned that word. It was very cool. Finials for the legs. It's absolutely beautiful. It can be chalk painted white, whatever the person who wins wants, or just done in a stain, my favorite stain, which is chestnut. It's a very beautiful rustic piece. You could put a vase on it. You could use it to put like a cake. It's a beautiful pedestal. I wish I had a photo. I'd show you right now. But that is what we're giving away. So we will ship that off to you as well.
Awesome. All right. So the winner of the beautiful pedestal, and actually, you guys, I saw this morning, and shameless plug for Maria. She was on a news station. Tell me, it's okay if we say the news station, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was Central Texas Living, Channel 25 in Waco.
And that was one of the things that you did with them this morning was show them kind of how you create this pedestal and how to kind of stain it and all that. And then you had a beautiful little, was it a flower box, kind of a centerpiece?
We did a centerpiece, and I would love to give that one away, but it would have to be someone local because that thing is heavy. We did ship it, and it was like so expensive. I went, wow, that's crazy. So I think the pedestal is awesome. And if you're in Fort Hood, come see us at the Mill Spouse Fest because we're actually going to give the big centerpiece box away to someone who's there.
Awesome. Well, so yes, so if you're interested in wanting to know more about what the pedestal is or what it looks like, you can follow Moving with the Military. Go on there and see her on the news this morning.
Awesome.
The winner of that actually is going to be Making Mandy.
Yay, Making Mandy! I was like, yay, all of y'all.
Oh, yeah, I know. Seriously, I'm like, can we just give everyone something? It's amazing. All right. And so then the last thing we have is another $25 gift card sponsored by Armed Forces Insurance. Again, your choice on what you would like it to be for. And so we can kind of get in touch about that. And the winner for that is going to be Karen Lidberg.
Awesome, Karen. Woo! I'm like the cheering section.
I love it. This is awesome. So tell us, how can we follow you and learn about everything moving with the military, everything Maria. I mean, this is just literally the tip of the iceberg. From what I've seen from you, I mean, you always have these amazing tips and tricks and things, and it's just so much fun to watch. So how can we do that?
Thank you. So you're so awesome. I appreciate you, girl. If you like and follow on Facebook. So it's facebook.com. Everything is pretty much Moving with the Military. So facebook.com/Moving with the Military. Instagram, also Moving with the Military. Now, I hope I'm just not going to date myself right about now. Instagram is a weird beast because I have never really quite understood it with the follow and unfollow. Like you get these people on and then they just go away. I'm like, did I do something? Did I upset you? I never understood that. But if Instagram is your jam, come on over. Our stories are always behind the scenes. We love to get people to vote, especially right now that we're in production on these makeovers. We get anyone who's watching to vote on the pieces. So the lamps, the chairs, the beds, and then you can be a part of making all of this happen. To me, that's really interesting. So I don't know what just happened there. That was pretty cool.
Oh, the monkey hook.
The monkey hooks. She's sharing the monkey hooks. Thank you. Wow. That is really cool. I know I've got the weirdest face looking at it. Monkey hooks. That is going to be my new that is going to be my new best favorite thing. So thank you for sharing that. That's
affordable too. That's pretty awesome.
Yes. So how many monkey hooks are in that pack? I don't know, but for $11.93, I'm going to get that pack because I need that in my life. So yes, yeah. But follow, share, come on over. We also have a Twitter, which is Moving WT Mill. Why not Moving with the Military? Because Twitter didn't like all of those characters. They said, make it small, make it small, make it small. So it's Moving WT Mill, and that's the same for our Pinterest. I love our Pinterest. I really do. I haven't really been pushing it because I'm just curating right now so much content, but I love our Pinterest and all the different ideas. I don't profess to know it all. I made this. So I always try and give credit where credit is due. So if I got this from someone else, I want to, share that and let that shine because that was about whoever, made that, like Jessica making the pedestal. I'm just a fan. So here's the pedestal and we made it too. But, follow, like, share, always, comment. We are on all the time. Let us know if you have any questions. Send us emails. Oh, wow, totally forgot one big, huge monster thing. That May 11th is Military Spouse Appreciation Day. We are encouraging military spouses all over the world, not just in the United States. Right now, we have hundreds of military spouses on board in Okinawa, Wiesbaden, Wainwright, I'm trying to remember everywhere, in Hawaii, all over from all different branches. We have a hashtag called In Their Boots, and we are encouraging military spouses on that day to give a random gift of kindness to another military spouse. Make a simple arrangement. I mean, I'm one of those people, I'm going to be going through drive-thrus like Starbucks and be like, here you go. I just want us to recognize and love on other military spouses because we are in their boots. We get it. This is part of it. And I want that hashtag. It would mean the world for that hashtag to be trending on May 11th. That's our day. You know what I mean? It is about us. Let's just do this. Let's love on each other, support each other, encourage each other, and celebrate each other. So I'm just encouraging all people, May 11th, to do a little something, something. Take photos. We're making a filter so that you can use it on your photos. Yes. And putting that up there. I'm super excited about that day. But then again, I'm super excited.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. I mean, and you're doing something, and it doesn't have to be anything big, like you said. It can be just a simple something.
A simple something.
Yeah.
You can pick up flowers, and we're going to do a little tutorial actually tomorrow. Pick up a bouquet of flowers from your grocery store, and you can break that up into something small, and you can give that away to someone. I mean, it's you never know where someone is. I say this all the time. Someone may have been stressing so much because of a PCS or, a deployment or whatever. And that little gift of kindness is I see you, girl. You know what I mean? I see you. I got you. It's a little something to say, I'm with you. That random act of kindness, you never know where that will lead someone, what they will do with that, just making someone's day. And I think it's just important that we do that. I want to do it all the time, but definitely May 11th, make that happen.
That is awesome. And you mentioned just briefly Milspouse Fest. What is that? And you're going to be there?
Yes. Milspouse Fest is, and I've never been to one, which I'm excited about. But it's super exciting and empowering from everyone else who's been there. They've told me about it. They're like, it's like screaming and dancing and I'm like, yes, I need to be there. So there are 2 events at Fort Hood on the 17th, and I think the evening event is the only one that's open and left for Fort Hood. And then the 19th is in San Antonio. And there are tickets still available. So we're going to have a booth there. We're going to be giving away so many different things, giving away pieces of furniture every 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes, we are giving something away, and we're going to have opportunity to share and talk with people. We're doing DIY demos. It's like speed dating, but I call it speed DIYing, where we're just going to teach you how to make something really quick, and then you can move on to another station, and we're going to just be there all day. So it's Milspouse Fest. Really excited to be a part of it, and just, like you said, celebrate and honor our military spouses because they rock. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so happy that you were able to come on with us tonight. I'm so grateful. We had some really awesome questions. Really, if you guys have any other questions or last minute things you want to say, please feel free to jump in. This is,
go back to the chat. I saw 5 things. It moved over.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to turn that off because I don't know. I'll get back to it. But that was very interesting. All right. Yeah. So I'm happy to answer questions, and, like I've learned my monkey hooks today. I'm all about it. Yes. So thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. We are so lucky to have you. I mean, I see you everywhere now. I mean, it's been the last couple months, and it's just really blown up, and I'm so proud and impressed, and we're just very lucky that you were able to come on with us and share some knowledge, and this recording will be available in the future for folks to come on and see and view these tips and take notes and contact you, follow you. So I'm really excited about that. And those of you that won, you can either email me, which is WArmstrong@milspouseadvocacynetwork.org, or you can just message our main MSAN Facebook page, and we will be in touch with you there. So we obviously don't need to put your personal information here of how we can send you these things. So that would just be the easiest way to do that. So WArmstrong@milspouseadvocacynetwork.org, or message our main Facebook page, and we will get you your goodies.
Awesome. Thank you all. Really appreciate everyone who came on tonight. You are awesome.
Yeah, but Amber says, thanks you for all the help. It was definitely informative as to what I need to start doing since we leave in September. So we got to get our goodies in motion.
Start checking out. So she knows where she's going. Start finding out where you're going and start purging and cleaning up what you don't need. There you go.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. Happy PCS season. Everyone is just commenting. Thank you. Great. So thank you, Maria, for coming on with us tonight.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.